How's it going, everyone? My name is True Wonder Dog, and today we're having a look at Geras' Variation 3. I gotta say, I'm very jealous of you Geras mains because he keeps getting fun variations, and I think this one might be my favorite. It has so many clever setups and a lot of fun juggles as well, and he can teleport. It just seems like a very fun variation, though it does require a lot of thinking, so it's somewhat of a meta variation, but even so, it looks like a ton of fun. So as always, please request which character you want next in the comment section below, and without any further ado, let's get started. So this variation gives us access to two new special moves, and one of them seems very useful and the other one very situational, so much so I haven't actually seen it used online at all. So this one right here, reverse time. Let's go ahead and start off with that one because it's the craziest. It seems like it has some application, but it's very situational, so some time has to go by. Let me move around a little bit and I do it. And I go back to where I was a couple seconds ago, and I travel quite a far distance, so I think the main idea behind this move is a hasty retreat, but keep in mind it only works on me. It does not rewind time for the opponent, and even though it shows me do all the animations over again, I'm not actually repeating them. So in other words, let me go to the corner and explain what I mean. Part of me thought that if I did a long combo where I hit the opponent and then rewinded it, I would hit them. But no, I punch the air, nothing actually happens, and I'm right back where I was. So it's not good for extending combos. It could be good for doing some attacks that are unsafe and then you save yourself. And of course it could also be good for escaping the corner, especially if the opponent just put you there, you fly right past them and escape. The startup isn't instant, but it's pretty good for that. Now the issue is, when you try to do it sometimes, you'll just use the environmentals. Because there's no button that you amplify. The amplify button is what you press to start it. So instead of getting that move, I just get environmentals most of the time. So even if I'm right here in the corner and I do some stuff and then go for it, I use the environmental. And let's try with this guy, like the bony dude right here. So I'm clearly doing stuff. Okay, there it worked. But in the corner especially, I find it's very, very difficult to get things to happen, especially if you're the one in the corner. So I'm doing stuff, then I go for it, and that time I got it. So that was a lot of fun, but sometimes you end up getting the environment instead of the move, and that can be a bit frustrating. I can't imagine how weird that would be if it happened in an actual match. That would make me very, very salty. And as you may have noticed, this move does take away 2 bars every time you use it, so you give up all your defensive options, which is why I think it is meant to be defensive. It's meant to be a hasty retreat, either after an unsafe move or just a minus move where you don't want to give up your turn, because Geras can be very good from a distance. So let's say you close in, you do this, and you're like, I want to back up. And you can cancel at any point in time too, I should mention that. I canceled right in the middle of that third hit before it even connected, which is weird, right? Normally you can't cancel when you've already committed to the full string. You can only cancel after the last hit. But I can input the entire string and then cancel as the third hit is coming out. So it's very unpredictable. It can be done at pretty much any point during a lot of strings, so it's great for catching the opponent off guard, even if they can hit you when it's starting up. If you're constantly changing up when you do it, they're never gonna see it coming, and they certainly can't react to it. So it seems really good for a hasty retreat, but outside of those rare situations, I don't find this move very useful. Even so, it is still very interesting, and please tell me in the comments if you found some cool stuff to do with it. And next up, we have the Sand Clone. Now this move is what it's all about. So this move has varying distances, so you have a close version if you hold back, you have a far version if you hold forward, and then if you hold up, you have a very far version. So every possible distance. And then if you do the same input a second time, you teleport to where that clone is, which is a lot of fun. This can also be good for a retreat. If the opponent blocks what you do, you can run away back. So while I do think this move is meant mostly for offense, it does have some defense applications as well. So by default, it's just a teleport, but once you spin the bar is when things get very interesting. So boom. Launch the opponent and a pretty decent amount of damage. So it's a go-to combo extender. It's a lot of fun. This move is great for extending combos in the corner, and what makes this move truly awesome is you can cancel into it and then set things up. So now it's right on top of them. If they block what I do, I can detonate it and get some crazy plus frames, because you would not believe how good this move is on block. So let me go ahead and show you. So I summon this, detonate it, boom, plus 12. Whoever made this character's frame data, I love you. Please design more of the characters because you understand how to make a character fun. Especially for Geras, because he does have the grapple in this variation. And if he carries you all the way to the corner after running a long distance, he gets that crushing blow. And it's honestly not very tough to set this up. So you detonate, oh, plus frames, boom, that's your crushing blow. So you have more tick throw setups or just more pressure with Geras like he already has. And of course he does have a 50-50 too. So not only is this clone great for extending combos, but it's also great for block pressure as well. And since Geras does have his command grab in this variation, it makes him have awesome tech throw setups too. So this variation is going to be very scary in the hands of anybody who understands that exact spacing for that crushing blow. Once they memorize that exact distance and how to set it up with the clone, it's going to be super scary because now every tick throw they go for can potentially do 30%, which is just terrifying onto itself. And then this next part has me very excited too, so check this out. So I'm gonna put myself in the corner. So now I'm cornered, but oh, I got the clone. And now I got a combo. Isn't that just crazy? I'm the one who's cornered, but if I get that clone out, I can now touch you, put you in the corner, and then get a crazy corner combo, or even better, a crushing blow combo. Even though I was the one in the corner, I still have all the power in this variation once that clone is out, which is just awesome. Now you might be wondering, does this clone go away on hit? Well, let's go ahead and see. I'm gonna take control of Sub-Zero. Let's see if it goes away. Nope, it's still there. Now it is on a timer, and it won't stay out forever. It does go away after a set period of time, but even if Geras gets hit, that clone is still there, which means it's still an escape option, or it's still a way to extend combos, all that good stuff. It could also still be great for pressure if it's near the opponent. So unlike certain moves, including Sub-Zero's Ice Clone 2.0, which does go away if he's hit, Geras' Sand Clone does not, and it also stays out for longer as well, so if you like playing Sub-Zero's variation, I recommend trying Geras' third variation too, because it's the same thing, only it feels a lot better. And I should also mention, this move can extend combos without having to spend any meter. It's very situational, but it is possible. So check that out. I did it while talking to you. I set it up and I got the combo without spending any bar. Now it wasn't very much damage, especially not for Geras, but I just find it crazy he can set this up and then teleport to it and extend combos with it, and possibly even in the corner too, though I haven't tried that out yet. The main point I'm trying to get across here is that Geras doesn't have to spend the bar to extend combos with this thing in certain situations. Now once again, very situational, but he can do it. He doesn't always have to spend that bar if he wants the combo to be extended. So once you're done practicing all the combos this variation has, the next step is learning how to set it up. So this move does not start up quickly. Takes 47 frames, right? But you could do it after a hit. So right here, that's a guaranteed setup. Or here, guaranteed setup. Even this move, boom. Opponent can't do nothing about it. However, an even better setup can be something like this. Got my trap, once they hit the floor, input, they can't do nothing there. They can't do anything about that. No move is fast enough to reach me before I can block. So that was a guaranteed setup too. If you land this move from further away, it pretty much guarantees that clone setup, which is just awesome. Even though its startup is quite slow, there's a lot of ways to set this bad boy up. And once again, this clone is plus 12 on block when you amplify it. And in case you don't quite understand that, you don't understand what frame data is exactly, let me explain. So if the opponent blocks this, they are now 12 frames behind me. So now pretty much any move I do, even this move, which has 11 frames of startup, they can't interrupt me. Even this move, 16 frames, they can't do anything, because even a 9 frame or a 7 frame move, it's not going to offset that 12 frames. After they block that explosion, I have to do something 19 frames or slower, otherwise they will get counter hit and I'll get the full combo. So once they learn that, they're going to respect it, they're going to start blocking. Once that happens, you do forward 2, and then that grab. And of course, Geras has more tick throw setups than just that. You could do this. So that was back and down at the same time. So I pressed back and down, and then 1, and then just forward and 2. And that gave me my throw. It's a bit tricky to do. The key is to delay your forward 2 a little bit, and it comes out every time. And of course, there's the good old jab, and then back forward 2. That's a bit trickier, requires some very fast fingers, but that's 3 different tick throw setups that can be done after that clone explodes, or before the clone explodes. Either one is completely a good idea. And that's the main reason this variation has me so excited, because variation 1 is by far the most popular, and it doesn't have the command grab. However, this variation seems very strong, and it does have the command grab. Now keep in mind, variation 2 was also not bad. It just wasn't considered quite as good as variation 1, so very few players used it, but it was still better in certain matchups. But now that we have variation 3, I think we're finally going to get to see that command grab shine, and all the pro grappler players are going to come out, and that has me very excited. Alright, and that's about it for this variation, so now it's time for my final thoughts. Is this the best variation? It does require a lot of thinking, a lot of setups, and a good understanding of how your opponent plays, but then at the same time, it's complete set play. A couple of mix-ups and the opponent's life bar is completely gone, and you have tons of plus frames and crazy mobility. If you have the clone set up behind the opponent, it becomes great for block pressure, great for frame traps, great for tick throws, all that awesome stuff. And if you manage to hit them, then it becomes really good for combos, especially in the corner, but also good for mid-screen as well. But in the corner, you get easy 40% for just 1 bar, which might not seem like anything special for Geras, but to me 40% for 1 bar is still pretty crazy. And then if the clone's behind you even, it can be great for a hasty retreat, so certain strings like this are -9, that's punishable. If you make that mistake, boop, you're back here. And now you're further away, but Geras is always frightening from a distance. He has that sand trap that can track your location. It's super duper scary and it hits low. In summary, it just seems like a really good variation. It requires lots of thinking, but it has frame traps, it has tick throw setups, it has great combos and great mobility. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, go ahead and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton. And finally, why not keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell? That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.